Oh my God. I had it off the whole damn time. God damn it. I was on a whole rant. Ugh. All right. Here is the situation. Okay. I see you out there, Jordan. I see you out there, Warhammer. And Scott, I see you out there. Hello, old man butt wrinkles. Now, here's the situation as I understand it. Okay. Remember your civics courses. When a law has to go through, okay. So it's say a law was submitted by the House. It has to go through the Senate after it gets voted on by the House, and the Senate sends it through millions of committees and eventually gets to the Senate floor. It gets amended, edited, and voted on. And then it goes back to the House. And the House has to do has to do a couple things. They have to agree with the edits and amendments, or you know what they do? They don't agree with the amendments and edits, and they send it straight back to the Senate as it was and say, no, we want you to pass it like this, so get on it. Now, the only way that's going to happen right now is if every one of you that's watching this video get those numbers and call the Capitol switchboard, talk to your representatives, talk to their aides, leave a voicemail, do whatever you have to do, okay? If you have to send a snail mail or, a telegram, I don't care. Just do it. Get it done. Let your representative know in the House that you do not support the bill as it's been amended by the Senate. And that'll force the House to go and send it back to the Senate as it was before the Senate decided to mess with it and redo it. Now, again, the House could also just vote on it and say yes or no. And at that point, well, we're stuck with that zero tax stamp. And I don't like that. That's not a win. That's a loss. That's a big loss. And yes, I am new at this streaming stuff. It's been a while. But as I said, remember, the bill isn't over yet. It's I would say we're still only at the halfway mark. So, again, call your senators, call your House representative, use the Capitol switchboard number at the bottom. Let them know you're unhappy with the situation, that you want the full Hearing Protection Act and Short Act in the bill. You do not accept a zero tax stamp as an alternative. There is no alternative. Either pass the bill as it was originally submitted or don't pass it at all. I hate to say it, but this is the hill we need to die on. We need to tell them we're not taking a compromise. It's time that Republicans stop compromising with Democrats, giving Democrats things left and right. It's time we tell the Democrats, and I'm speaking as a Republican. If you're not a Republican, if you're a libertarian, if you're an independent, okay, I get it. But from my perspective as a Republican, I'm tired of seeing the Republicans bend over and taking it from the Democrats and not showing a fucking backbone. Why isn't the President of the United States the only Republican that has a spine? Is it just me, or am I imagining things? And that's what pisses me off. So don't accept the zero tax stamp as an alternative. Contact your representatives. Let them know you're unhappy with this. Let them know you're angry. Let them know you want it back in. Don't do nothing. Doing nothing doesn't solve anything. So, I see you out there, Sakari. I know. That's what I'm saying that. Doing nothing doesn't solve anything. Going out there and being heard, even if you're doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Go out and tell them. And I'm not trying to preach to you guys. I am not. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone else. I am not. I'm better than no one. I'm just me. Okay. But I am so angry. I'm so pissed off as not only a Republican, but as an American citizen that we have to deal with these injustices left and right. Yet, the other side gets away with freaking murder. And I absolutely mean they get away with murder each and every time. Just look at every time they burn a city down because of a riot. They get away with that shit all the time when they're the ones who incited it. Yet the Republicans never show a backbone. So, no, I am not. I am not better than you, Jordan. And to prove it, though, no, I'm not better than you, Jordan. I've asked the Catholic Church to canonize you. That's how much better you are than me, Jordan. We need a living gun saint. But all joking aside, but the fact is, I've been trying to deal with my own life lately, and that's why I haven't been doing a lot of streaming. It's why I haven't been doing a lot of videos. I've been trying just to get by because of how bad things have gotten. And honestly, this was really the only sort of light I had at the end of the tunnel going for me. And now look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. They give us the steaming pile of crap saying, "Oh, the zero tax stamp. That's exactly what you wanted." I don't remember saying I wanted that. Does anybody else remember saying they wanted that? I don't. I certainly don't remember that. So it's just I'm trying. I'm really trying. I apologize for if I'm cursing or sounding like I'm trying to preach. I'm not. I'm really not. I mean, you guys deserve better. I deserve better. We all deserve better as American citizens, and we're not being represented properly. We're being cast aside, just because they want to put forth their own agendas. But when it's the agendas that got them elected in the first place, they ignore ours. And you're not far off, Warhammer. And I hate to say that. I hate to say it, but you're not far off. So I just had to go live and say something because I've been watching what's going on, and it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I am not happy with this at all. So anyways, we rant because we care. Yes, we do. So again, if anybody else has anything else they'd like to say out there, go ahead and say it in the side chat. I'll read it. I can rant a little bit about that too. But again, if you've got any time today, call your representative using the Capitol switchboard number here at the bottom and let them know that you're not taking the zero tax stamp as an alternative. You want the full HPA and short act in the big beautiful bill, or you don't want the bill passed at all. And leave it at that, because that's how I feel about it. Jordan, how long do you have right now? Do you have a minute to come on and say a few things? Let me know in the chat. But you're not that far off. But at the same time, it's like at one point we almost had a third party in the '90s. You should remember this, Jordan. You're about the same age. In the '90s we had the whole libertarian movement with Ross Perot. Okay, and he did a hell of a lot better than any third party candidates have done. Since then. Okay, Gary Johnson wasn't a libertarian; he was a Democrat. Almost every other guy that the libertarians have fielded since then have not been true. Okay, I've got your email. I think I'll send you an email. So, but it's just we haven't had a proper party in a while. So, a proper third party, and it's just, believe it or not, we've got more parties in the United States than just the Republican and the Democrats. The problem is the Republicans and the Democrats are the only ones that ever get elected. All right, I'll send it to you right now. I'm using Rumble Studio, so be aware. And I've got everything going on at once, guys. So please bear with me here. This is all impromptu. If anybody wants to jump in and give their 2 cents on any of the things I'm talking about right now, you're more than welcome to. Just either say something in the side chat, I'll pull it up on the screen, or jump on in. Just ask for a link and I'll let you in. But if you do jump in, I need you to be participant on this, okay? So just just sending that out there. No, don't sell off the federal land. The federal land, that's another thing. Because the problem of that is, if they sell off the federal land, that gives them the chance to go and it gives them the chance to go it's being used for BLM, for shooting, for hunting, and that's a bad idea. Jordan, did you get that?
Yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just not using my camera because I've rearranged my desk and I don't have a green screen behind me yet.
Yeah, I'm in my office. It's pretty officey, if anybody knows me. So it's not worthy of screen time.
You heard me ranting about this. What are your thoughts?
So, I mean, I'm as disappointed as anybody. Maybe a little bit more disappointed than some, but it's almost to be expected. They get us all riled up. Hey, back us on this. There's a bunch of junk that nobody wants in here, but we're going to dangle this carrot. We're going to give you more of your freedom back that we stole 100 years ago. I'm willing to overlook a lot of this other political stuff because I just don't have the time to be involved with the land management. Right. Probably bad. All the other things, probably bad.
Right. I get it. I get it. You're trying to run your businesses, and you're dealing with the issues and challenges that are faced when trying to do that. I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I run a web hosting business. I do IT break and fix. I also am dabbling in selling 3D printed gun parts now too. So it's right. Not like I don't have things going on either. but it's just the fact that we, they ran, all of these Republicans ran on this platform to say, hey, you get us elected, we will do what you want. And then they fall short. They lose their spine.
Yeah, exactly. And we've pushed hard against this parliamentarian. I don't know anything about the inner workings of how the Senate works. That's not what I get paid to do. And, I leave it to guys like Crump and you to give us some of this news and insight when it happens. But how do we have a parliamentarian that is blatantly a Democrat and was appointed or granted their position under Harry Reid? I think it was 12 years ago. Harry Reid's one of the worst Democrats we've seen, and this is his lady. So
I would argue Harry Reid wasn't the worst. I would argue that that Dianne Feinstein was the worst.
Well, yeah, you got me there. He's up there. He's up there, though.
Yeah.
So
I hate to say this, but I'd say Chuck Schumer is worse than Harry Reid.
Yeah. Well, Chuck Schumer's still kicking, so I guess you're right. Still causing problems. So
yeah. You notice that all the evil Democrats that are trying to take our stuff away, they live forever. Yet all the good Republicans die off.
Yeah.
What I want to know is what dirt did they have on the Clintons?
Yep.
Yeah.
Our number one hitman, I think, right?
Right. Of course that was a joke, but
right, of course, satire.
It's just I'm so disappointed. I'm so exhausted of always seeing us lose like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Democrats get power. They jam through whatever they want, it seems. They remove freedoms. They give more things to people that are undeserving of that. They create lifelong and generational, assistance and whatever you want to call that. There's no stepping stone for success with the Democrats' policies. They want to keep whoever they can under their thumb with finances, with healthcare, whatever it may be, steal from the rich, give to the undeserving. So they get whatever they want, it seems, every time they're in power.
Well, not even just steal from the rich and give to the undeserving. It's also champion for the smallest minority in the country and trying to make them a majority instead of listening to the actual majority.
Right. And then forcing everybody else to say the things and do the things. And if you don't, then you're on a watch list.
Well, let's be honest. The Democrat Party is the party that sucks you dry of money and puts it in their own pockets, that makes themselves rich and important, yet they want you to work like slaves for the federal government.
Right. Look at the Medicaid fraud that's starting to come out here. I've read bits and pieces of it. The FBI got over 300 individuals or organizations that were involved in a $14 billion with a B $billion Medicaid Medicare fraud.
I mean,
all over the world.
I'm doing the whole
billions.
Dr. Evil Pinky thing right now.
Yeah, right. So we're supposed to fund that. We don't want to cut Medicaid because people are going to lose. We're going to lose their support. Well, hey, prove that you need the support, and then we'll talk about it. But $14 billion went to fraud, went to people just writing fake invoices, fake hospital visits, fake doctor's appointments.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned this earlier, that the whole NFA thing itself was put into place 100 years ago. Do you remember what side of the party that voted that in, and what party was in charge of the entire government during that time?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the conservatives, I guess, right?
The Republicans. During the 30s and the 40s, the Democrats had the majority of the House, Senate, and presidency.
And we compromised. The NRA, wasn't the NRA involved in that as well?
The NRA was involved in that, but they never did anything on it.
Yeah.
Though that was the old NRA before they took it back in the 70s. And then Wayne LaPierre just turned around and did the same damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though I give New York 1 ounce of credit, and I only say 1 ounce because that's all they deserve. The singular ounce of credit I give New York is they were able to take down Wayne LaPierre. And
Yeah.
that's the only ounce of credit I will give New York.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a disaster. I don't know what our next move is, if we have a next move for this. If the House is going to reject this, if we even have any voice in that. So
we don't have a voice if we say nothing.
Well, that's true.
So that's why I'm doing this right now. It's like anyone that's out there that's watching, go call them. Let them know you're unhappy with the situation. Let them know you want the full HPA and Short Act, not a zero tax stamp. The zero tax stamp does nothing with an illegal registry, because that whole registry is illegal.
Yeah.
If you have to, tell your representative this. The definition of infringement hasn't changed in the dictionary since 1746. I've looked this up. Same definition since 1746. And
they don't care.
I'm sorry. I have to say it like that. They may not care, but if enough people go and say it, that'll probably irritate them to no end. So they'll have to do something.
Yeah.
That's how they got here in the first place. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't stop. I've sent every one of my representatives messages on Twitter. I've made phone calls. I was on vacation last week. I went to the beach for a few days and walked the beach making phone calls to senators. And, so we can't stop. Even if it looks like nothing's happening, we need to flood them again, I guess. I mean, that's all we can do at this point.
Look at me. I live in South Carolina. I got to deal with Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham. Okay. So, I call them as much as I can and let them know when I'm unhappy about things. Sometimes I do it once a day. That's not going to get me in trouble. It just means that I'm a concerned citizen. That's it. But it shows them, if we don't call these are your representatives, if you don't call them as a group collectively to let them know what they want, what their constituents want them to do, they will just go on with their own agenda. And and they can't keep doing that. We can't survive as a country if we keep just letting our elected officials do whatever the hell they want with no direction.
Right.
Because that's not a representative.
That's right.
They're not representing anybody but themselves at that point.
So, and whoever's got a bigger checkbook.
That's always into play too. But again, if a couple million people contact their representatives, that'll get them to move on their ass at least.
Yeah.
So. Aside from that, is there anything else you wanted to bring up, Jordan?
No, just my displeasure.
You were talking about a third party, and I was mentioning the closest we ever got to a third party was Ross Perot, really.
Right. Yeah, I remember those days. I was in elementary school, and I couldn't figure out why he was up there. Really, just because I was a child. I don't even know what grade I was in, second grade or something maybe. And so my dad kind of tried to explain it to me in dumb elementary words, and I thought, well, that kind of makes sense. Why are we not allowing these people this other idea? And I have no idea who's right or wrong or who I should support or not. But why are we not allowing more than two people on this stage? Why is it only Democrats and Republicans? And it's clear that that's a poor system. That two choices is not the best choice.
No, it's like with two choices, you're literally stuck with the lesser of two evils.
Right.
It's not you get the actual choice that will actually do some good and do the country some good. It's just It's like, do you want the guy that you know who literally has horns sticking out of his head and is breathing fire that is absolutely evil, or the guy who is crossing his fingers behind his back who's only slightly evil?
Right. I saw Elon Musk posted yesterday, maybe today, that if this bill passes, he's introducing the America Party. So we'll see if that has any traction. He certainly has the money and the powerful backing with all the folks he knows and is involved with. So whether that's any better or not, who knows? I like mostly of what I've seen from Elon recently. So
Yeah.
I'd like to
So,
see something come out of the woodwork there.
though I think that whole fight between him and Trump was staged.
I don't know.
I think that was
Yeah,
publicity.
it could be. Nothing surprises me in politics.
You know, it may have been a publicity stunt between the two of them just to drum up more. I don't know, more excitement or something. Who knows? Who knows what the reason was?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon's emphatic about this debt increase and the
I mean,
spending.
I don't blame him. I don't think we
Yeah,
need it. I don't think it's necessary. I think we need less.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
I mean, stop
yeah,
taxing people for things that, you didn't tax them when the government became the government in the first place.
right,
I
right.
mean, what happened to getting rid of the IRS?
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. My father's an accountant. Let me tell you the ways.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
So it's just like I've lived with it my entire life. I know,
Yeah,
but it's just it's. Uh,
one positive thing that I can come out of this is that we have way more people engaged now. I think with the internet, I know it's been around since whatever the '90s kind of, and
yeah.
it feels like all of a sudden people are starting to be concerned about their political power that they have, and I mean
It,
that as on the people's side,
what
the
it's
citizens.
it's not just that they're concerned. People are actually deciding to get off their ass and actually take an actual interest in the direction they want their country to go in.
Right,
You know,
right.
again, I remember the early days of the internet. Let me tell you, uh those were the days. The days where we didn't have Google and all we had was Yahoo search engine.
Right,
Or,
right.
and then the days when we only had Ask Jeeves.
Yes, yeah. And what is it, IRC or something? That chat. What was that chat called?
Oh, it's not gone. That's still around.
Oh, that's
Internet
still
Relay
around. Yeah,
Chat.
yeah, yeah,
IRC.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yes, I use that quite a bit, and I know what you and I were using it for, so we don't have to say that. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just things have changed. Some have changed for the better, but with social media, some has changed for the worse too.
of course.
Because I I mean I've never liked the idea of social media at all as an IT person. As a person who takes an interest in technology, I never saw a place for social media. I only saw it as a distraction. And unfortunately, it still is a distraction. And I've gotten myself mired into all of the distraction myself. So I didn't listen to myself. Yeah. So I do have to ask you, how is Bob?
Bob is good. He's recovering from GunCon. Uh,
Oh,
so
don't even get me started on GunCon. I'm so angry about that.
that was an interesting. I wasn't there. Like I said, I was on vacation,
Right.
so I missed all the excitement that happened. But from what I understand, it was in the contract that the building or property management ownership can revoke anybody from coming on premises. So it's a unfortunate thing from that regard. I don't know if they have any actionable things outside of that, but that's a very. I rent buildings all over the country, and we've been doing it for many years. And I would guess that our landlords have a similar provision, but we don't go to places that don't like guns. And I'm not saying this is a slight to John Patton at the Gun Collective, the host of GunCon, but the folks that we interact with, they go to our website, they look at our videos on YouTube and different influencers that have come through. So they understand totally what it is that we do as a gun show promotion. And
Right.
so they like it. Great. We sign up, we do the deal, we rent the building. If they don't like it, they say up front, we don't like it, or whatever fake thing they want to give us, but that's okay. It's their building. And so we don't go.
You know,
And
you just accept it. You thank them for the
that's
time, and you
right.
find a building that does like it.
Right. And we're okay with that. We understand we're in a polarizing position. So I don't know why a building with the politics that they have would sign somebody up knowing what their event is.
And
And especially GunCon, they have so
and,
much media attention. There's
and
videos for the past 2 years.
what's worse is they did it to a friend of mine, Paul from Legally Armed
Yeah.
America. You know Paul,
Right.
and
Yep.
then they did it to an attorney general.
Right.
I get it if you're doing it to gun YouTubers. Okay, I get it. You don't like gun YouTubers. Got you. Okay, I can agree to that sentiment. There's a couple YouTube gun tubers I'm not personally fond of, but
Sure.
again, you know, you're not going to like everybody. Period.
Right.
But again, the issue is that you would single out Paul and a politician, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that was the attorney general for that state too.
It was Missouri. He's Missouri.
Okay,
Attorney
state
General.
of Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, what was he doing in Ohio in the first place? You know,
Yeah, I mean, he's going to give us
little,
the speech on freedom of speech.
kind of little out of his element, I would say. But again, the fact that you would go after a politician like that too, that's suspect.
Yeah, very strange, and it's not going to bode well for the ownership of that company. I think they own several large commercial properties all over the country. So
Did you see what people were doing? People
no.
that saw that had happened started giving bad reviews to that place on their Google business page. Like they've got like 1 star right now.
Good. That's what happens.
And I saw that. And I'm like Paul said, I'm not going to tell you not to go do that, but if you want to do that, here's their page.
Yeah.
And he has every right to do that, considering what they did to him.
Sure.
So, but
they did it the morning or the night before or early morning of the day of the convention. It's just, you know, you had the list of who was coming. Patton put that out.
If that had happened to Bob, you would be up in arms. You'd be ready to get the pitchforks and the torches.
Yeah, nobody's doing that to Bob.
No. But yeah, that was something I didn't like.
Yeah. But you live and learn, I guess.
Yeah.
John's going to get a bunch of publicity from it, which is great. He gets to stand up for things he believes in, and we get to support him doing that. And we get to not support whatever this building was in Ohio. Drill twist or something, twist drill building or something. I don't know.
Yeah, twist drill or something like. I wouldn't go there. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't go to Ohio in the first place. I've been to Ohio before.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite state.
We live very close to Ohio, so there's always a friendly rivalry between us and anything Ohio. So
I mean, I went to high school in Louisville, so you know.
Yeah.
So I was close enough to Ohio.
Yes.
As it was.
Right.
And I sometimes went into Ohio. I did not like it when I was there, so I immediately wanted to go back.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for jumping in, Jordan. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I'll probably rant again sometime this week too about all this stuff and go sound like a broken record. But again, call your representatives and your senators using the Capitol switchboard number at the bottom. Call John Thune and tell him to fire the parliamentarian. And, you know, the 4th of July is coming up. So I'm going to say, God bless America. And I hope everyone enjoys their 4th of July. Happy Independence Day.